Kia ora koutou, Markie here. And if you're watching this at the moment that it comes out, Happy New Year to you. So Happy New Year on the turn of 2023 to 2024. If you're watching this retrospectively. A short video on retroactive jealousy, because I was telling somebody that they might benefit from watching a video on how to safely use internet RJ support groups, and I'm just going through my list of videos and I can't actually find it, so maybe I just thought I'd made one and I hadn't, which is quite likely actually, because I think of a lot of video ideas and run them through my head and then make a few notes, and then I may get into something else and not record them. So this is the playlist. If you're interested in retroactive jealousy, or probably that's not the best way of putting it really, is not that you're interested in it. If you're suffering from it, or your partner is suffering from it, then and you want to find the videos that are most useful on the channel, there's a playlist. So if you just go to the playlist, retroactive jealousy, and there's further subdivisions of playlists as well. So this is the main one. This should include every RJ video on this playlist. There's more. So I thought, well, it looks like I haven't actually made a video on this, so no time like the present. Let's talk about that. Do you use Facebook groups for retroactive jealousy? This is one on Facebook. Well, there's more than one on Facebook. There's a number on Facebook, a couple of which I am the moderator for, and some of which I host. So we've got groups for sufferers, got separate groups for partners. We've got a group that's for both, where there can be some discussion. There are some really big groups on Reddit for retroactive jealousy. And there's a new one on the artist formerly known as Twitter, on X. But anyway, that's by the by. And I'm just giving you this to look at because I'm all dishevelled. I've been out walking in the wind and the rain, so I'm not fit for television. So just to give you something to see. It's really annoying me because it feels like I did one. So let's talk about it. Okay, so are they always a good thing? No. Even though I'm involved with them, I think you have to be extremely careful with these groups. They can be very triggering, and depending on the group, they can be healthy or unhealthy. Usually there's a mixture. I've got out of the two retroactive jealousy groups that I moderate, the one is what we call I can't remember the exact title, but it's for people in serious recovery from retroactive jealousy, and they have to, when you join, you have to commit to not partner blaming, and there's a couple of things that we ask of people. But some sites are very partner blaming, and some sites, I don't like sites generally where there's a mix of partners and sufferers, because what can happen is you get a very different perspectives from each group. Sometimes partners can be really harsh towards people with retroactive jealousy, quite understandably, but I think being harsh is one thing, but having a lack of understanding that it is actually a condition, that it's not sexism, it's not immaturity, it's not a whole bunch of other things. And some other internet groups that aren't specifically about retroactive jealousy, like some that are around relationships and stuff like that, you can see some really inaccurate and bad things written about RJ. So I don't think it was an internet forum, but there was a famous case, just to give you a flavour really of how this can be, of Mariella Frostrop. She had some kind of agony column. Somebody with retroactive jealousy wrote in, and she tore them apart. If you want to see that, I can't remember, I haven't got a link to it. It's years since I looked at it. but it was available online. You can see that. So, so what are the dangers? So the dangers are it can be very triggering. I mean, one of the problems is, and one of the first things that you need to do in order to start recovering from retroactive jealousy, and I've done a video specifically on this, is stop telling your story. Stop talking about he did this, he did that, you know, he had a threesome or a fivesome or a 11-to-1-some, or he, you know, she did this, and they've had such and such a body count and my body count is this, and blah 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 blah. When you first realise that retroactive jealousy is a thing, you're still locked in the drama of it, and you want to find out if you're, you know, if other people are the same, if it's really a thing. So you want to tell your story. I always say to people, tell your story once and get it out of the way, and never tell it again. Just to get it out of the way, and just to reassure yourself that you're in the right place. But if you go on an internet group, an internet forum like Facebook groups or anything like that, you'll get lots and lots of new people that are new to RJ telling their story, and that can be very triggering. And also you get people asking for support and guidance, and that support and guidance varies from very good to really bad. And so, yeah, I mean, even now, I struggle if I spend too long on groups. So where groups are good is where you get a whole bunch of people who are who've made a solid recovery from retroactive jealousy and are sticking around to help newcomers, and you get these old timers like myself giving advice to newer people that have come along. But that doesn't happen with every group. I think there's a little bit of that probably in every group, but it's not consistent. So I suppose in a nutshell, the groups can be very good. They can be very bad. They're a real mixed bag, and it's not really great to spend too much time on there. What you want to do, I think, is use the group in proactive and constructive ways. So one of the things I've talked about, again, this is in another video, is finding recovery buddies, and is doing things like bookending and getting support, and sharing and finding resources. And once you find and share these resources, often you'll find better support off the forum than on the forum, unfortunately. But I think they're a necessary evil, because for me, the way I kind of use them is they are places where people who've never heard of it might be the first time they've heard about retroactive jealousy, or they might find out about it through the group. But people who are kind of have a problem and they're googling solutions, if you land there, there's a good chance you'll be signposted from there to the resources, and then you can do your recovery. I think I've talked in other videos about AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, and other 12-step groups and how they work. And what I would always recommend if you're using a forum is use the same model. So they talk about, in the 12-step tradition, they talk about experience, strength and hope, and that when you share, whether it's in a meeting or on a forum, that's what you should be sharing. Is the experiences, this is how bad it was, without telling the story, just like, for example, it was so bad that I thought about it every day. I lost a relationship over it. I made a real idiot of myself. My partner was really distressed. Strength, then I started to realise that there was help out there, and I realised it was me, and I realised it was, obsessive compulsive cycle that I was in. And then hope is where are you going from here? Are you, I'm not fully recovered, but I feel like I'm moving closer to it every day. So it doesn't mean you Pollyanna if you're having a really shit time. You can still say you're having a really shit time, but that's encouraged if you can share in that way. And really also a call to arms for people who are in recovery from retroactive jealousy, who are doing really well. Come back to the forum occasionally. That's what I would suggest. Not all the time, because it can drag you down. It can be quite depressing and quite frustrating, because what you'll find is when you get into recovery and you're no longer stuck in those thought processes as people in active retroactive jealousy, you'll find it quite annoying, and you'll find people's rigidity and their stuckness very annoying. So what I say is visit the groups periodically and share a bit of guidance and a bit of hope, and just tell your story, not your story as in she did this and he did that, but your recovery story, because that's really powerful. So I hope that's helpful. If you find that you get triggered by looking at some of these internet groups, that's not at all unusual. That's really quite common. Use with care is really what I would say. They're my final words. So happy New Year to you. Thanks for everyone that's followed this channel and supported us over the last year. While we do provide therapy, and that is done on a commercial basis, we've got a wider mission, and that's just getting information out to people who are suffering with RJ. So that's why we've got so many videos. I don't know if it tells you how many there are on this list. It's got to be over 125 retroactive jealousy videos on the channel, and other videos on the channel that are not about retroactive jealousy, but that are can be really critical in terms of recovery. Things like attachment theory and stuff like that. So we some of the therapy does go to pay our bills, but most of what we put out is free, and we have actually a whole 35-day daily recovery program. You could just follow that daily recovery program absolutely free. It's got something to do every day for 35 days. So that's going to put you in a much better place. So hope that's helpful. We will be back with more retroactive jealousy content and more non-retroactive jealousy content, and I will see you soon. Thank you for watching. Rangimarie.